if someone had told me several years ago that I'll be living in New Zealand, I'll be like, what? What are you talking about? Where is New Zealand? But guess what? I am living in New Zealand. New Zealand has become home for me. And not just me, with my husband and my children. Yes, I not only live here with my family, I am a citizen, yes, proudly a citizen of New Zealand. And I've been a citizen now since 2019, to the glory of God, right? And I'm not just a citizen only, I also practice here as a medical doctor, to the glory of God again. In New Zealand. So today I'm gonna be telling you how I moved from Nigeria to New Zealand. Yes, I left Nigeria to New Zealand, everything about how it happened. Very unscripted, okay? I don't have any notes or anything here, and I will just be sharing my own personal story, my experience, right? It's gonna be very, very clean, very pure, and I'm hoping that you would learn a thing or two, if you're wanting to travel abroad, especially come to New Zealand. But this is my own story. Before I go right into it, if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Blessing Ekundaya. I call myself the confident woman. I'm the confident woman. And so you're welcome to this channel. Feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell, because for the next few episodes, I'm going to be doing a series about New Zealand, life in New Zealand, everything about New Zealand. So get ready, because it's going to be very, very interesting. Okay. If you're hoping to come to New Zealand, this is where you need to stop by and just relax and enjoy, because I'll try and give you all the information that I can. And if you want to know something more outside of what I'm sharing, please leave me a comment, ask me that question, and I promise to do a video on it for you. Okay, now let's get right into it. I left Nigeria for New Zealand. Okay, of course I was born in Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian. And I grew up in Nigeria. My parents, all in Nigeria with my siblings. And I had never really traveled overseas before until some years back while I was in medical school. Would you call Ghana overseas? I don't know. But that's the only place I had traveled, Yeah, before I came to New Zealand, I'd only gone to Ghana, for internship while I was in medical school. That was the first time I was gonna go on a plane. And yeah, so I'd gone to Ghana maybe sometime in maybe 2011 or so, thereabouts. I'd gone to Ghana, but and then I came to New Zealand much later. But how did I get here? So while I was growing up, I desired to travel abroad, right? And I was thinking that it was going to be through my father, my dad, who had this intense desire to go to the US. At the time, he applied at different times or different points in his life. He's a pastor, and he was hoping to go and do missionary work, on behalf of his church, the ministry or the organization that he was serving under. And at different times when he applied, his visa was declined. So when I'm busy, having those dreams and fantasies about, oh, when they give me that day visa, we'll go to this place. He was going to go to Oakland, California. Anyways, it never materialized. It never happened. And each time they declined his visa, it'd be like a heartbreak. So after a while, he gave up trying, and I just gave up. Okay, yeah, Nigeria is home. I came from a very humble background also, so we didn't really have the opportunity to really travel. The only time I really traveled was, apart from the Ghana trip, was to my hometown in Ekiti State, right? So my mom, on the other hand, my dad eventually traveled once, but it was to Sri Lanka, again, for missionary work. My mom, on the other hand, never traveled, never got out of New Zealand. But to the glory of God, sorry, Nigeria, but to the glory of God, I'm going to be bringing her very soon to this country, by God's grace. But she never traveled out of Nigeria. So she had the opportunity because, she's a career woman, but she wanted to spend time looking after her children. So she made a sacrifice. Eventually, with growing up, I fell in love. I fell in love, right? And I met my husband online. My husband is a Nigerian, by the way. I didn't marry a white man. I fell in love. I met quite a number of guys online, Nigerian guys. I never got into any friendship with, we call them Oyinbo. Oyinbo people are people who are not Africans. So we started talking. My husband, he was a friend at the time. He was living in Singapore while I was in Nigeria. I was about to get into medical school, right? And so we got talking and all of that. And one thing led to another. We fell in love, and then God had spoken to him, or probably I think it was his father. God spoke to about New Zealand. And after he did his master's in Singapore, he then began to apply to different places. But he applied to New Zealand also for his PhD. So he eventually, the school, approved him, and he got the admission to do his PhD in a school in a university in New Zealand. And that was how he found himself in New Zealand. At the time when he gained admission to do his PhD, we were already in, I'll say, in courtship. So he was my fiance, and I was his fiance. And so we continued that relationship. And I remember that during that period of courtship, we had conversations about what would happen. Would he come to Nigeria to stay with me? Or would I have to relocate to New Zealand? And if I'm being honest with you, as much as many people say, oh, of course, you should go. Of course, what would you think of him coming to Nigeria? The most sensible decision would have been to go and meet him. If I'm being honest with you, I wasn't very comfortable to actually go overseas to meet my husband, or my husband to be then. Why? I don't know. I just felt like, I was studying medicine, and I felt like, oh, will I be enough? Will I be enough to study, to practice medicine in that part of the world? Well, in this part of the world now where I am, will I be good enough? Would I be able to practice, to practice, with the level of, medical knowledge that those people have? Will I be competent enough? Right? So I wasn't very confident that I will be able to practice medicine in this part of the world. So I was sort of in between. I was ambivalent, I would say, about my decision. But as time went on, and Nigeria showed me, we'll say they showed me shege. It means I saw a lot of unpleasant things, right? Including, being robbed a few months before my wedding, right? I just told myself, I think I'm done with this country. I think it is time for me to leave this country, because I was already experiencing PTSD. And then before then, I had already made up my mind, right, that I was going to go overseas. My husband and I had, my fiance at the time, and I had conversations, and we believed that was what God would have us do, to move to New Zealand eventually when we got, after getting married. And so I remember that because it was a long distance relationship that I had with my fiance at the time, we decided that it was a good idea, because if I'm going to be spending the rest of my life anywhere, well, a lot of my life in New Zealand, I'm going to be settling in New Zealand. He then thought, why don't you come and visit to start with and see whether you like it here? That was a fantastic idea, right? So that I don't feel like, it doesn't feel like a huge shock to me, and then also meet the people that he knows, people that are sort of his sort of family around here, and yeah, just get to know them, get to know people, get to know places, I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. So in 2012, he applied for a visa for me, and it was a visitor's visa that he did apply for, and it was successful, although I would say it was quite rigorous. The immigration people were asking lots of questions because we had never met before, and they wanted proof, evidence of this, evidence of that. So we provided all the evidence that they needed. Long story short, I got my visa, right? And this was in 2012, and the plan was to spend about 6 weeks with my husband in 2012. And so I moved to, well, I didn't move, I came to visit him at the time in 2012, Oh, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't living with him. We're Christians, we're children of God. Okay, I was living with his pastors, just to be sure that we do things the right way. And so he took me around. I went to different places, different restaurants, malls. And I think one of the things I liked at the time when I came to visit New Zealand was I came during summer. So in New Zealand, the summer is between December, so December, January, February, summer. That's something for you to know. Summer, that's New Zealand summer, and the temperature goes as up until probably early 30s, late 20s, 20 something degrees. But if it's going to 30, that's too hot. I don't think we ever reached 30. I can't remember. But I mean, usually mid 20s, so 20 something degrees, that's our summer, right? But so I'll tell you very quickly. So New Zealand summer is December, January, February, and then we have we go into autumn, then that's March, April, May, and then we start winter, June, July, August, and then we get into spring, September, October, November. So that's what New Zealand weather is like. So I came in summer, and I loved the weather. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. It was lovely. And by the time my 6 weeks was getting almost over, I felt like, oh no, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I really enjoyed my stay in New Zealand, right? And so I thought myself, yeah, I think this is going to be a beautiful home for me. And by the time I went back to Nigeria, we planned our wedding, and we decided, you know what, babe, come home. This is going to be home for you. And so we got married on a Saturday the following year, 2013, and I decided I was going to join my husband. Again, I came to New Zealand through another visitor's visa. And I just say that I don't know what the immigration people are like now, but at the time when I applied for my visa, they were so helpful. I still remember the name of the lady that that helped me get my visa. She was someone that you could call and just have that conversation with. I didn't go through anybody, and that's the beauty about, I didn't go through any immigration consultant. When I just applied, my husband applied on my behalf, and that was it. And I filled in the part I needed to fill in, right? And when I was not sure what kind of visa should I apply for, I called her. I literally called her, like, when I'm coming back, what should I do? How do I apply? And she literally provided me with some really good advice. I don't know what it is right now, but it was so helpful. It was seamless. It was not stressful at all. Right, I eventually came to New Zealand, and it was through, again, the visitor's visa. So I've been here in New Zealand since 2013. Yes, oh my gosh, that's 13 years, because we're in 2026 now. So that's how I moved to New Zealand. Yeah, that's how I found myself in New Zealand. And boy, I love it here. I'm enjoying it here. If you are watching this video and you're wondering, should I come to New Zealand? Should I not come to New Zealand? Please come to New Zealand. New Zealand needs you, especially if you're a professional. In my next video, I'm going to be sharing with you the different routes, different routes to come to New Zealand. But make sure that, just for you to be aware, I'm not an immigration consultant. I'm not an immigration advisor, okay? I'm sharing this based on my own personal experience. So I'm not going to recommend this is how to do it, or this is what you should know. Just my personal experience, right? And I think it's going to be really helpful for you. So that's how I came into New Zealand. People get to ask me, how do you come to New Zealand? How did you come to New Zealand? This is how I came to New Zealand, yeah, through marriage, by God's grace, and I'm loving it here. I'm enjoying it here. I think that New Zealand is a place that you could raise a home, you could raise children. If you're confused about whether New Zealand is good or not, New Zealand is good. It's a small country, just about 5.5 million people, but it's a beautiful country. It's a loving country. It's a wonderful country, and I'm glad to be here. Okay, so I am Naija Kiwi. Right, so having said that, okay, over my 13 years experience now in New Zealand, are there things that you want to know about New Zealand? Are you planning to come to New Zealand soon? Let me know, and I might do a video for you regarding your question, okay, based on my experience in New Zealand. Right, so I hope you enjoyed this. Watch out for my next video, because you would love it. Until I see you next time. Bye for now. I'm blessing. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Okay? God bless you.